Lesson 5.4 practice is going to use 5.4 practice B worksheet. You can find it from the practice worksheet bundle. It's page 209 on the bottom of the page, and it's the 26th page of that PDF. So let's go ahead and take a look at these questions. Question A, what are the dimensions of the bathroom suite? So we have to find out the dimension, which means it's going to be width times length. And that's how you're going to work on for all these questions that are asking for dimensions. What we have to remember is the ratio that's given for us. This is the scale. So it's 1 inch equals 8 feet. They're telling us that each square has a side length of 1/2 inch. So we can say that for 1/2 inch, the sides are going to be 4 feet. So let's go ahead and calculate this. The first one, the bedroom suite is going to have 3 sides. So that's 4 times 3, which is 12. And then for the length, you have 5 sides. So it's going to be 4 times 5, which is 20 feet. For the second part, they're asking the dimensions of the bathroom. So I'm going to go ahead and work with the bathroom dimensions. Again, counting 1, 2, 2 for the width. So that's going to be 4 times 2, 8 feet, by, and I'm going to count 1.5. So when you have 1.5, half of 4 is going to be 2. So I'm going to have half as a 2 plus the 4. So I'm going to have 6 feet for the length. The third question is asking the longest length of the wall in the bedroom. I cannot use any other sides because this one has a closet, so this part on the bottom 2 is going to be the length of this wall, this 3, and then I have 3.5 here. So my right side is going to have the longest side for the wall. So I'm going to go ahead and see the length of it. I have 1, 2, and 3, and then I have that half, the other half, that's not covered with a bathroom, so I have 2 feet for those. So I have 4 times 1, 2, 3, which is 12 plus 2, so I'm going to have 14 feet for the longest wall and its length. Now the next part is asking the ratio of the perimeter of the closet to the perimeter of the bathroom. So we're going to go ahead and see what we can do with these two dimensions. Because every side is indicated by 1/2 inch and we're going to use the same unit, I'm just going to go ahead and count how many sides there are for each of these places. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the length or perimeter of the closet is first going to be 8. And the bathroom is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So these are the whole sides, and then I have this half and this half. That makes another whole, which is going to be a total of 7. So my sides for the bathroom is going to be 7. I don't have to write something like this with our ratio because they have the same unit. That means it's going to be a scale factor. Now, question E is asking the ratio of the area of the closet to the area of the bathroom. So in order to find out, we're just going to count how many squares fit into that area. So I'm going to count. This is 1, 2, and 3. And then for the bathroom, I have 1, 2, and then I have these 2 halves that can make a one whole thing. So as a result, I can see that closet has the area of 3. Bathroom also has the area of 3. So what I can do is put the ratio as 1 to 1. And how do we know that? Because they have the same number of squares inside of that area. Now the next question says, all of the walls in the bedroom suite are covered with drywall. Which will cost the most to drywall? The closet, the bathroom, or both are the same? So as we looked into it on question D, we have the perimeter of the closet and bathroom compared. Which one will have more length between the two? We can see that 8, which is closet, will have more length combined. Okay, again, we know this because it has more length for the perimeter. And the next question is asking, all of the floors in the bedroom suite are covered with tile. So it's going to be the bottom one. Which will cost the most to tile? The closet, the bathroom, or both are the same? And we can see that the ratio for the area, they are the same. So essentially, they're going to cost the same amount for the tiles. On the last question for this activity, they're asking, what is the area of the bedroom? So we'll have to find out the area of the bedroom by finding out how many of these tiles you have. And for this half, you're going to consider this 2 halves as 1. So you have total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 tiles. Now, what you have to do is to find out the area of this small square. What is going to be the area of this one single square? We know that half of this is going to be half an inch, which is 4 feet. So 4 feet times 4 feet is going to give you 16 feet squared. And I have 9 of these 16 feet squared. So I'm going to do 16 feet squared times 9. And that's going to give me the number of 144 feet squared. So that's going to be the area of the bedroom. The bottom questions are finding the missing dimension, and you are using scale factor 2 to 5. That means you don't have different units. The questions are going to have the same unit. So let's go ahead and take a look. I am always going to use a scale factor of 2 to 5. And my first number is always going to be on the top, second number is going to be on the bottom, which means model first and then the actual one. If my model is 10, I don't know what my actual is. So you can either use cross multiplying and then you divide it by the number, or you can simply say, hey, what should I multiply from 2 to make it into 10? In this case, we can say that 2 times 5 is 10. So I'm going to multiply 5 times 5, which will give me 25 kilometers. If you choose to do the cross multiplication, you can also do that. It's going to be 5 times 10 equals 2x. So 2x equals 50. X is going to be then 25 kilometers. Number 3, model is 5 inches and actual we don't know. So we set up the equation again. 2 over 5 equals model over the actual one. We don't have any number that would make 2 into 5 by multiplying. So we're going to simply do cross multiplication like this. And you're going to end up with 2x equals 5 times 5, which is 25. So you're going to end up with a decimal answer. What is half of 25? It's going to be 12.5. So the actual scale is going to be 12.5 inches. Next one, we're missing the model part instead of the actual part. So I don't know what it is, but my scale factor is 2 over 5. My model is going to be the x, and then my actual number is going to be 24 feet. Again, you can go ahead and do cross multiplication, and you're going to have 5x equals 2 times 24, which is 48. So again, you're going to have a number that is a decimal answer. And if you solve that, it's going to be 9.6 feet. The last one from this set is also going to be another model. So you have 2 over 5 equals the model x over 32.5. You're going to then go ahead and do cross multiplication, and you're going to end up with 5x equals 32.5 times 2. So when you have 0.5, this is going to make it into a whole number, right? So you're going to have 65. Now, because it ends with a 5, I know that it's going to go into 65 completely and wholly. So it's going to give you an answer of 13. So my model is going to be 13 meters. The last question has error analysis. A scale factor is 1 to 8. Describe and correct the error in the finding the model length that corresponds to 48 feet. So we are actually missing the length of the model, and 48 feet is going to be our actual length. So if you look at this equation, I have 1 over 8 for the scale factor, but then I have 48 feet on the top, x feet on the bottom, and I have the x answer as 384. Now my model length is going to be smaller than the actual corresponding length because it's 1 to 8, not 8 to 1. So the correct way to have this equation is 1 over 8 equals x feet over 48 feet. If you have it like this, it's easier to find out your answer. You can either cross multiply these two and find out what 8x is, and then find out what x is. In this case, it's going to be 6. Or you can simply say what is the number that I can multiply to 8 and make it to 48, which is 6. So I'm going to multiply 1 times 6, gives me 6 as an answer. One thing that you are going to work on for your homework, however, is going to be working with 2 different units. So for example, you may have scale factors of 1 to 24, let's say, and you may have a model and the actual ones with different units. So if you see this, even though your scale factor is 1 to 24, which means you're going to have to use the same unit, my model is 15 inches, and then my actual thing is going to be in feet. So how do you work on this one? First, I am going to put them in a fraction form like model over actual, and I'm going to plug in what I know from the scale factor. Then I'm going to plug in the information that I have. I don't know what the actual is, so I'll be putting it as x, but then my model is going to be 15 inches. As you can see, I actually put inches on the bottom here because when I'm using a scale factor, I want everything to align. So I need to have inches on the bottom, and then I have to convert it into feet. So let's go ahead and find out what x is going to be. When I cross multiply, I am going to have 1x equals 24 times 15. And that number is going to give me 360. So I found out my 360, which is the actual model, in inches. Now I have to change this inches into feet. And we all know that for 1 foot, there's 12 inches. So what I'm going to do is I am going to divide 360 by 12 so I can find out my feet answer. So 360 divided by 12 is going to give me 30. So I'm going to have the final answer of 30 feet for the actual model. So it's going to be a little more work, but I think you guys can work on it. Let me know if you have any questions, and good luck with your homework.